So in your meeting with Houston, I just want to know how that went, the kind of conversations you had with the team about potentially playing with Jalen Green, potentially playing with Kevin Porter Jr., how the team can maximize your talents on and off the ball. How did that go in Houston?
It went great in Houston, I wouldn't say there was a lot, too much talk about strategy and whatnot, just because I'm not officially there or anywhere yet, but it went well, talking to the coaches, the GM, saw a couple of the players, they have a young crew and, they want to play fast, space the floor, and they just see me fitting right in, with my playmaking skills and ability to, be anywhere on the floor, just put me around, they're talented guys and, trying to put us together and create something I think is a plan that they have. But like I said, we didn't get into anything too specific, but it went well though. The visit went well.
Okay, up next is Alex Shaper.
Hey, Paolo, I got a two-parter for you. Just your mom being a star player at Washington, I know she played a huge part in your development. Just where do you think she maybe impacted you the most as a player and with your skill set? And do you kind of remember the first time you realized that, mom could ball a little bit?
Yeah, well, growing up, all I would ever hear is people telling me stories about my mom, raving about how good she was, how dominant she was. And so I never saw her play, so it was kind of hard to believe. I mean, I believed it, but I just was I couldn't really imagine it. But a couple years ago, she showed me, a bunch of her college tapes, just highlights from college and stuff. And so I got to see really, her playing and her stuff. And she was, she was a 4-year player, dominated much of her career. And so it was great to see that. And then really just my game, she's helped me in a lot of ways, but I would say the main thing is just the fundamentals. She never, or she made sure growing up that I never lacked fundamentals. She always stressed that to me, instead of the other stuff, instead of the stuff that, may look better or look more pretty, she always made sure I was using the backboard, being able to use my left hand, and talking on defense and offense, just little stuff, she made sure I was doing that. So she's helped me a lot just over the years.
Okay, David Thompson.
Hey, Paolo, how are you doing, man?
Good.
Good. We were just talking to your former assistant coach, Chris Carrawell, and he said if it was up to him, he'd take you #1 overall. What do you think about that, and do you agree with him?
Yeah, no, Sewell, that's one of my main men for sure. One of my favorite coaches. And yeah, I mean, obviously he's a coach at Duke, but he's a great basketball mind and well respected, in this space. And of course, I agree with him. I feel like, I am the best player in the draft. And I feel like I showed that throughout the year. I feel like I showed everything, just with my skill set, the intangibles. So I definitely, agree with what he said.
Okay, Brian Bearfield.
Hey, Paolo, thank you for doing this. If you are drafted by the Houston Rockets, where do you see your skill set blending in with the Kevin Porter Jr. and the Jalen Green?
Yeah, those are two extremely skilled, extremely talented players, both who I've known for a while. Kevin being from the same city, Jalen, just known him since early high school years, going to camps and stuff. And I feel like it would be fun, those guys are both unselfish, both seem like they want to win, and both, are exciting. So, if they were to add me to that, I think it would just elevate, them more, elevate myself, and elevate the team. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Brian Horace.
Hey, Paolo, thanks for taking the time. Now that this pre-draft process is nearing the end, have you learned anything new about yourself going through it?
I would just say I learned just how much I truly miss, playing and competing. All the pre-draft has been, one-on-one workouts, and, just kind of getting better, focusing on my shooting, just all skill work. And I haven't been able to play any, pick up any 5-on-5, 3-on-3. I haven't even played really one-on-one. So just missing that, competing and, playing to win and going against another man, to try and beat him. I kind of miss that whole aspect of the game. But, I know that'll come back sooner than later. So I haven't been going too crazy.
Thank you.
Okay, James Ham.
Hey, Paolo, again, thanks for doing this. Just two questions. Number one, have you spoken to the Sacramento Kings at all? And number two, have you spoken to your mom about Sacramento since she was a Monarch back in 2000, a long time ago?
No, I haven't. I haven't spoken to Sacramento. My mom did play there. She lived there. I haven't really talked to her, about the city recently, but I do know that she played there, lived there. Yeah.
Okay, Danielle Lerner.
Hey, Paul, I've got two for you. First of all, when talking to Houston, who within the organization have you actually been speaking with, in terms of staff and maybe even players?
Yeah, when I went to visit, I talked to Coach Silas, I talked to the GM, Stone, Mr. Stone, and I talked to a couple of players just while I was there. Yeah, it was all good stuff for sure. But outside of that, I haven't really talked to or haven't really kept in contact with any of them recently. But on my visit, I talked to a lot of them.
Well, thank you. And then I also wanted to know, just since we've talked about your childhood a little bit, what's your earliest basketball memory, period?
My earliest basketball memory probably would be like being 3-4 years old and being in the gym, watching my mom's team's practice, just sitting on the sideline, dribbling the ball, playing around while she's coaching. Those are my earliest basketball memories. And shortly after that, I started playing. But before I started playing, I was just in the gym, messing around on the side during my mom's practices.
Okay, Ernest Leo Hernandez.
Hi, Paolo. Ernest here from Sports on Air, and we got in touch with your cousin here in Manila, Chris Banchero. He says, great, good luck to the upcoming NBA draft. What is your relationship with your cousin, and how big is this for the Banchero family to have another athlete and entering the professional ranks?
Yeah, man, Chris paved the way, I would say, for myself a little bit. We went to the same high school. He was much older than me, but I grew up, went to his games growing up when I was younger. He won state championships at O'Day. I won a state championship at O'Day. He was a well-known player around the city, before I was. It was just funny, because Chris is like 6'2" and he's white, and I'm like 6'9" and black. So when people would see my last name, they'd be like, "No way you're related to Chris." And then when I would tell them that I was, they'd be like, "Oh, it makes sense," because he was very good, but we just don't really look alike. But no, man, he's had a great career over in the Philippines. It's been awesome to see. So this is a big time, I would say, for the Banchero family. So I'm proud.
Thank you, Paolo.
Okay, Jeff Garcia.
Thank you. Jeff Garcia, Kens 5 San Antonio. Paolo, you mentioned, you tweeted about DeJounte Murray, the Seattle connection. What has he talked to you about this process? And what is it like to see another Seattle guy make it as well as he has on the NBA stage?
Yeah, it's great. It's really, it was really motivation, seeing him make it. I watched him all throughout high school. And then just the circumstances that he had to beat, to get where he's at was just incredible. The stuff he had to overcome throughout his life, and yeah, he's reached out to me quite a bit. I really consider him like a big brother. He's told me that enjoy this draft day, live it up. You only got one draft week, one draft night. But soon as that 24 hours is over and you're drafted, that's when the real work starts, and it's no mercy after that. It's a killer be killed type of environment in the NBA. So it's gonna have you're gonna have to be locked in from the jump.
Are you looking forward to possibly playing against him?
Oh yeah, for sure. He's a great competitor. I'm a great competitor. So I can't wait.
All right. Thank you. Good luck to you.
Okay, we have time for about two more questions. We'll go with Kristen Peak and then final with Mark Berman.
Hey, Paolo. Question for you. Just a clarification. Did you ever play with KPJ on Seattle Rotary, or was he too older for you? Or is he too old?
Yeah, he was older, but
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I wanted to ask you, I know you and Chet have battled in high school, you battled a couple times in college, but what has this process been like going to through it together, and what have the conversations been like between you and Chet?
Yeah, it really is just, it's incredible to see, how far he's came, how far I've came. It feels like kind of just not too long ago when we were, freshmen and sophomores going to camps and stuff. So to be, here is, credit to his work that he's put in. And yeah, man, I mean, obviously he's right up there in the top 3. So we're both, really lucky, I feel like, to be here. And, I just hope the best for him, that he goes to a great spot and has a great career, because, he's putting the work.
Yeah, you guys will continue to battle, right?
For sure.
Thanks, Paolo.
Hey, Paolo, it's Mark Berman from Fox in Houston. Thank you all for getting me in here. I joined a tad late, so if it was asked something similar, bear with me. What would it mean to you to get the opportunity, if it happens, to play for Coach Silas? And part two, if the Rockets call your name, how do you think you'll feel?
I mean, I'll be blessed to hear my name called by any of the top 3, Houston included. I think they got a good situation that they're building. And, if they were to add me, to that and made me a part of it, then it would be a blessing. But like I said, any of the top 3, I'd be happy with. But Houston is a great spot as well.
What about potentially getting the opportunity to play for Stephen Silas?
Yeah, that would also be, a great opportunity. Just from meeting him, he's a real smart coach, big on X's and O's. And just by talking to him, you can tell that, he has a lot of stuff, kind of planned, in the future with the young core that they have. And whoever they add to that, whether it's me or somebody else, he's gonna have it, I think, rolling. So, that would be a great opportunity if it was to happen.